I actually wish that I picked this character up a lot sooner than I did, because she's probably the most fun to use in the entire game to me. Today we're going to be talking about the Berserker. Sorry this video took longer to come out than usual. For some reason the first time I picked up Berserker, I just couldn't get the hang of her. But now that I have, I can finally give this to you guys. Anyways, Berserker is an assassin with extremely dangerous mix-up, with multiple ways to get her strings started. She's very fast and can poke most attacks out of their startup. Her dash speed is quick and it covers a long distance, and she's just a lot of fun to use. Anyways, as usual, this video will be broken down into 3 parts: offense, defense, and how to fight against the character. So let's not waste any more time and get right into it. So first let's talk about offense. So up close, Berserker is one of, if not the most dangerous hero in the game. And that's because of her signature infinite attack string. So the infinite string is performed by alternating her heavy and light attacks. So say you press light, all you have to do is follow up with a heavy and then do a light again, and so on and so on. You can also switch the direction of each attack in the string to keep the pressure on your opponent and to start a mix-up. Also, after 4 consecutive strikes, your string will become uninterruptible. Finally, if you do a top heavy during the string, you will end it with a powerful overhead. Anyways, let's talk about her light attacks. So, as I said, her light attack is fast enough to poke heavies and some lights out of their startups. She can also cancel her light attacks with a dodge to try and catch an opponent off guard. Berserker can also do a light attack from her forward and sideways dodges. Just press light attack shortly after you press dodge. You can also begin a combo string after connecting or even whiffing the spinning attack. Another move you can do after the dodge is her overhead heavy. So if you dodge forwards and press a heavy attack, she will perform this move, which is honestly pretty predictable, so I don't really recommend it unless you're countering your opponent or you're confident that they won't block it. Anyways, let me talk about something that I think you should know when playing with Berserker, and that's feinting. So it's completely possible to win fights without feinting at all, but learning how to use it properly will really keep your opponent guessing. So to feint, all you have to do is press a cancel button, which is B or circle, during a heavy attack. This is extremely useful when trying to open your opponent up or to get an unexpected guard break in. I really like using it mid-combo as well to keep my opponent confused and to start another string. Now let's talk about her zone attack. Now this move is pretty easy to block, but it does have its uses. So if you press heavy and light at the same time, you perform the zone attack, which throws 4 consecutive strikes in a single direction. Another thing I should mention is that if you move backwards and try to perform this zone, you'll lash out moving backwards, which is pretty useful if someone is bearing down on you. Final thing about offense is that if you whiff an attack, most of them can be cancelled into a dash. So if your opponent dashes away from one of your strings or something, you can keep up with them by dashing and attacking if you want. Next, let's talk about Berserker's defense. I don't have too much to say, but she does use the reflex style defense, which means her guard only stays up for a short time. So when your opponent attacks, you have to guard each strike even if they're coming from the same direction. The reflex style also masks your stance so your opponent can't see where you're going to attack beforehand. Berserker can also deflect just like the other assassins. All you have to do is dash in the direction of your opponent's attack shortly before it hits you, just like parrying. So say your opponent is attacking from overhead. Just before it lands, dash forward right into it and you'll do the deflect. When Berserker deflects, you get a free guard break, so you can throw from that or attack if you want. Her dash is also very useful not only to start strings, but to avoid attacks since she moves so far and fast with each dash. If you can read your opponents, Berserker can easily avoid damage. So fighting against the Berserker can be a frustrating process since she swings so fast, but I do have a few tips to hopefully help you out. So Berserker doesn't have good range and needs to be up close to deal real damage. So from afar, just guard your head so you don't get hit by her lunging attacks. Also, while you're in the neutral game, look out for her side dashes since they're pretty fast, but don't panic and just block in the same direction that she's dashing in. She's also pretty squishy, so getting a guard break into a heavy on her will take about a third of her health. If she happens to start an infinite string on you, you can dash away between the gaps or after a block. Also, doing zone attacks against her while in the neutral game is also really helpful since her guard is down and most of the zone attacks are way too fast to react to. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you liked it and found it helpful, you should definitely leave a like since it helps small channels like mine. And if you didn't like the video and felt that you wasted your time watching such a pointless thing, leave a like anyways and tell me why you feel that way. Also, tomorrow I plan on releasing a beginner guide for the game. Of course, it's not going to be just the basics, it's going to be a lot more than that. So hopefully those of you who are more experienced will come and watch and learn something. Anyways, click on that circle to sub, check out one of the previous videos on the left, and click on that circle to sub. I know that you ignored me, and I'm not mad at you, since you hear it all the time from everyone, but still, I'd appreciate if you clicked it.